Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king. Espinal, also known as I Tried. Also joining me is my partner in crime, the man, the myth, the legend, my partner, the tank top sage. It's Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called partner, but it should be called gangster time.
My mic is off. My mic mute is off. What up, everybody? It's your boy. What's good, Chris?
Hey.
Brian's back.
He is back. This is true. Brian is back on screen, and he's stronger than ever because he's standing. So let's give it to Edgelord Big News, Brian.
What about his spot?
Got a wide range of motion now, bitch.
You can do jumping jacks while he does the podcast.
You could.
No, I shouldn't. Because
you could in theory, though.
I got neighbors downstairs. That would be, and I don't think that would logistic
Is it because you're as tall as a Yeti?
Yeah, that's probably it. He'd probably break straight through the floor.
I want to know. Actually, let's find out how tall Yetis are. Yeti height.
Yeti's not real, right? Those aren't a thing.
6'10". So no.
Yeah, that's about.
So yeah, that's pretty much where you are. You're 6'11", Brian.
Yeah.
No, I'm about 7 feet.
So you're taller than them.
Shorter than that.
Okay.
No, 7 inches shorter for sure.
No, you are 6'11". I'm your brother. I know this. Brian, Josh. Oh, Josh is doing the cap sign. That's his international cap sign. For those of you who are not watching on YouTube, which you should. Speaking of which, we got a lot to get through today, so let's get through some plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
They can find me at JDCole_37. That's on Instagram, and your boy is private, so send a request.
Yeah.
Send a message to, be like, I'm a fan of the show, because I don't like accepting anybody.
Yeah.
A lot of weirdos out there. Anyway, and then on Twitter at New Jump City Josh. I'm on there much less. But if you shout me out or whatever, I'll respond.
Yeah. Shout us out on Twitter because I don't think any of us use it, but if we are addressed on Twitter, we'll probably say hi. Brian, where can they find you?
You can find me at b.esp on both Twitter and Instagram. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, find me at twitch.tv/punchline.
Oh, yeah. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram and on TikTok, because why not? The same deal with the Twitter thing. If you hit up the show on Twitter, we'll respond and say hi back. Check us out on all those things. If you have any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about on the show, you can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any of that. Or you can comment on the video version of the podcast that's on YouTube. You can let us know what you guys think about the chapters that we talk about or the show in general. We love feedback on this show. It helps us win the favor of the almighty algorithm. So hit us up in the comments. Josh responds.
Yes, sir.
He's on that. And while you're at it, why don't you subscribe? Subscribe to the podcast while you're at it. Not just for the full version of the podcast, not just for the highlights of every chapter that we do, that we break out for you guys, but we also do the really good chapter of the week poll on YouTube now. So if you don't want to miss the poll, you can subscribe to us and it'll show up because I posted onto the community tab pretty much after the official release is out on Viz. And you guys can vote for your favorite chapter and we'll shout it out on the show. I already have this week's winner, so we'll find out who that is down the road. And if you prefer audio podcasts, though, if those are more your jam, if you want to take it on the go, you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts: Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Pandora, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're pretty much on there. We're on that shit. And I think that's it for now. I think that's all. Without any further ado, let's get this motherfucking show started. One Piece. Juwan's Piece. This is One Piece chapter 173, Miss Buckingham Stussy. We had a lot of stuff going on, but we start off with this cover page here. Last we left off on this cover page, we've seen that the various members of Mads are just like doing their evil experiments, basically. Caesar already has like a prototype of the smile fruit. Queen has some chemicals. Judge seemed to have made like his trademark spear thing. But to contrast it all, we now get a cover page where apparently Vegapunk has won a Mobile Peace Prize for his tanks that his tanks that shoot GP flowers that bloom out of gunpowder. So he basically
GP flowers?
Yeah, so whereas the people of Mads have made all these like sorts of deadly weapons, Vegapunk has won a Mobile Peace Prize for turning gunpowder into flowers, which is pretty cool. That's pretty nice.
Oh, GP gunpowder.
Yeah, it's like Tony Stark, but like
the reverse.
No killing.
Yeah, Uno reverse Tony Stark is I would say.
It's like instead of selling the weapons to the terrorists, like so that they could kill people, he like sent weapons to the terrorists so that they could like
hugs,
not
the hug grenades. But last we left off, there's been a lot going on in One Piece. The CP0 has been attacking Egghead for the longest time, and it's been basically a tug of war between our heroes on Egghead and the CP0 for control over the Seraphim, which are these androids that are made up of or look like younger versions and have the skill of younger versions of the 7 warlords of the sea. And there's been a stunning turn of events as Kaku was fighting Zoro in his awakened giraffe form. He was taken by surprise by Stussy, who is revealed to be a clone of Stussy Buckingham, who was an original member of the Rocks Pirates. And that was a shock to us. Lucci right now doesn't know what to do as we start off the chapter. He's like, I don't understand. What are you betraying us right now? And he immediately goes to do his finger gun thing, but Stussy fakes him out real nice. She catches him slipping, and she pulls out her lipstick, which has Sea Prism Stone in it, presses it on Lucci, and starts, I guess, doing her vampire thing, causing Lucci to pass out. Pretty big deal. She makes it known that she's like, I'm not dumb enough to just like fight against you guys fair and square. I'm gonna pull some underhanded methods in order to win this battle. So that's exactly what she did. As this is happening, Zoro and Brook are watching over and are just like also confused. Are you guys fighting right now? Is something going on here? And it's at that moment with Lucci and Kaku both squared away that Stussy calls over to the Vegapunks and confirms that the CP0 has been taken down. But there's the caveat of they still don't have control over the Seraphim because Stussy is at the same level as the CP0. So he can't override the orders that Lucci gave to them. So, but the Vegapunks are not super worried about it because they're close enough already. They can just make their way. They're not too far. All they need to do is have. Oh yeah, sorry.
I don't understand how she wouldn't be able to change the command. It's not like she's below them. She's at the same level. So it should be at the same level or higher.
I think even within the CP0, there's probably a hierarchy where Lucci is at the top.
Oh.
Then maybe Kaku, then Stussy.
I see. I thought all of the CP0 were just on a flat.
I think that's what's implied here. I don't know if it's like a weird translation thing, but that's the implication I made, is that like Stussy and Lucci are on the same level, but even within that level, there's a hierarchy where Lucci still overrides what Stussy says.
I think.
Yeah.
No, I think what it is that CP0, they're on the same authority level, so they should be on the same page. So that means they can't override each other's orders, essentially.
Oh. I mean, either way works, I guess.
So the
So,
order's
like, if-
finished.
So like if Lucci were to make a order, Stussy can't tell him to do something different.
I guess that's weird because I think that's weirder because I mean the CP0 should be able to give various orders at different times.
That's
you
what
know
I'm
I mean?
saying. Like, I mean, did it have to wait until that order's finished for somebody to do it again? Because then you couldn't even override your own order. What is it?
No,
Specialized that your override is
Lucci could probably change it because he was the one who gave the initial order.
Because he's the one. I suppose that's definitely
A possibility.
possible.
I mean,
Both are, yeah.
Yeah, they don't explain it very well either way.
Like I mentioned shortly, I don't really have too much gripes over it. I was just kind of curious to that.
Yeah,
I'm willing to believe that maybe it's just about hierarchy. Like there's this other more intricate hierarchy. No big deal. Moving on.
yeah.
Moving on.
So Zoro and Brook run off to hold off the Seraphim while the other Vegapunks get there to override their orders. Zoro actually ends up clashing with the Mihawk Seraphim. And the Mihawk Seraphim is like tight that he got blocked. He's like, what? I can't believe I got blocked.
He had like a sniper thing going.
He did have a sniper
does
thing.
have those kind of eyes, doesn't he?
Is this a little sneak peek into what Mihawk can do?
That's exactly what I thought.
It's
I was actually gonna save that for later, but
it's definitely an idea. I think I'm gonna say maybe it's because he's a robot currently and he still has the crosshairs. I think all of the PX, like the pacifistas in a way, they all have like that targeting system on them, and he was probably just aiming for like one of Mihawk's like airborne strikes. But it could possibly
like
be
slash?
Yeah, it could also possibly be that like this is part of Mihawk's, I guess, biology is that he has crosshairs for eyes, which would be pretty sweet. So at that moment, Zoro seems to have blocked him off long enough for Edison, the third Vegapunk satellite, to come down and order people to stop the fighting. But pretty much right as he says it, the Jinbei Seraphim has already launched a laser beam at in their way. But they were saved by Sanji, and all is good. The Seraphim are now called off, and the day is saved. So that's pretty cool. At that point, Vegapunk invites Stussy to jump onto the cruise ship as well, and she's like, "Cool, I'm there." Usopp is just like, "All right, you're adding too many people now." Meanwhile, at the same time, Luffy is still looking for Vegapunk and Bonnie, who, according to this narration, there was an incident that had occurred, and Dr. Vegapunk's Stella was nowhere to be found. So that's interesting. Meanwhile, on the island of Sphinx, which is the town that Marco resides in, that also happens to be the hometown of Whitebeard, we learn that the Navy has come down on Sphinx and were there to basically rob them of the treasure that Whitebeard had been pumping into this place. With another rat-themed marine, not to say, because there's another rat guy from Arlong Park.
Police.
Yeah. So these guys are thugs, and since Sphinx is apparently not part of the world government, they think they could just come in there and do whatever they want. They're not protected by the laws of the world government. So they just start like aiming and shooting at folks. But at that point, that's when the X7 warlord of the sea, Edward Weevil, I think his name, Weevil, comes in, and he just sends like 4 guys flying into these craters all at the same time. The Marines already know what time it is. They're like, Weevil! And yeah, they just start running away. But unfortunately, it seems like they've chased the Navy away. The Navy that was there, they ran away on their boat. But yeah, someone shouts from the distance that it doesn't end there. And it turns out to be Miss Bucking, as we've formerly known, the mother of Weevil. But it turns out this is the original Buckingham Stussy from the
Right.
Rocks Pirates. Big.
He is alive.
Pretty good twist, to be honest. If you really just like, I feel dumb because her name is Miss Buckin, and I'm like, damn, that's good. But
Did we know this before?
yeah, we knew her name was Miss Buckin, and Stussy has been around since Whole Cake Island. She was on the
Was
island.
her full name Buckingham?
Who?
Like, was Stussy's full name revealed before?
We probably didn't know up to this point. So, you know, I guess it's not that bad, but it is still a good twist and it makes sense. But we do know that now she is one of the former Rocks Pirates, a self-styled scientist, and a Mads freeloader, Miss Buckingham Stacy. So she's still alive. That's interesting. And she reveals that Admiral Ryukugyu showed up and took Weevil away. So that's just another one to to add to the kidnapped list of One Piece characters that have been taken away mysteriously.
Goku is the flame guy, right?
No, he's he's the plant guy that they fought on Wano.
Oh shit! He pulled up.
What if Weevil leads? What if he leads an Impel Down breakout with Doflamingo and?
That would be wild.
And Arlong.
That would be crazy. Impel Down too?
That would
with
be
Weevil?
sick if we find out.
Yeah,
fucking Arlong.
I don't think he's there. I don't think he's in Impel Down. Arlong's in.
He's not in Impel Down?
No, he's in.
Why would he be in Impel Down?
They would have seen him if he was in Impel Down. They would have run into him.
Who else would be in Impel Down right now?
Mr. 2 is still there.
Oh, right. I can't see Mr. 2 working with Doflamingo though.
Yeah, Doflamingo, Mr. 2. I mean, I think Weevil's probably too dumb to organize an entire, like, even below Luffy.
He would lead the charge though.
I mean, yeah, he would be a problem in a jailbreak. That's for sure. But yeah, Weevil has been taken away. And Marco's like, oh man, that sucks. I mean, I'm grateful to you guys for saving the village. And she's pissed. She's like, oh, you don't believe that Weevil is his real son, do you, Marco? Well, I know just the person who could prove it to you, and that's Dr. Vegapunk. And the chapter ends away on the ships off of Egghead, I believe these guys are, because Kizaru is there. Or at least they're on their way to Egghead. And
Arlong is in Impel Down.
I thought he was in like a G4 prison or something.
It says unknown level.
Oh. It's weird they didn't run into him.
Wait, released on Jinbei's request?
That was a long time ago. That was that's his backstory. When Arlong... That's why... Okay, yeah, that's his backstory. I don't think he's there. Okay. I don't think he's there currently. It would have been weird to not run into him at least once. But anyway, the chapter...
Senior Pink is in there?
Oh, yeah, Senior Pink is in Impel Down. Dude, pretty much the majority of Doflamingo's crew is probably there. So that's a big deal.
Peak of the God.
Yeah, Peak is in there. All right. Anyway, this chapter ends with not Vegapunk, Kizaru serving tea to one of the 5 elders, Saint J. Garcia Saturn.
That's a pretty cold ass name.
Yeah.
I'm actually just gonna write that as I'm just gonna put that
as
down
just his name.
That's a cold ass name.
J. Garcia Saturn. And
that is the hardest name I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Kizaru asks him if he's ever met Vegapunk, and he's like, yes, just once, a long time ago. But I must say that I find these turn of events to be most regrettable. And that's where the chapter ends. Lots to talk about. In actually 16 pages, a lot of information was revealed. But Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1073?
Well, I'll be honest. I don't have too many lingering thoughts. I guess I'll just fire off it as along the chapter, and then I'll let you guys get into your thoughts. All right, let's go to the beginning. Man, I don't think there's anybody else in comic book history with a bigger forehead than your boy
Vegapunk.
Someone check me on that one, please. It doesn't have to be YouTube.
In
Anybody listen?
Vega
I don't
Punch?
think anybody else
Yeah,
has a
no.
bigger
Yeah,
forehead than
nobody. I
Vegapunk.
think
Yeah,
like,
nobody
no
has
one,
it.
I don't, it's, you know,
Nope.
right? So
That's the biggest forehead.
It's too
in One
ridiculous
Piece.
for most artists to draw, so they wouldn't do it.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna beat Christian to the punch and say that he was 100%, absolutely, a million times correct.
About what?
Stussy,
What do you mean?
you called out that that's what that's who Dr. Vegapunk called out to.
Oh yeah.
I guess it was an easy one. But
Yeah, I'm not that impressed with myself
in
on that one.
hindsight, I just thought I'd let it be known because you'd be saying that with like 0 for 1,000, and that's
Yeah,
at
but
least one.
this one's really small, so I barely even count it. You know what I mean?
Hey, we take those W's too.
It's fair.
Listen, if the Giants smoke the Panthers, how you gonna feel about that?
It's fine.
Nigga, a W is a W,
That's true, I guess.
and that's an NFC win. Anyway,
Anyway.
so yeah, you called it. I don't know about Stussy. I don't remember seeing her any time before this arc, so I'll take y'all word for it. But you gotta understand the effect on me isn't really there.
Well, it's not. I don't think anybody's meant to be like Stassi. You know, like she's been around.
I'm not going there. I'm not doing all of that. I'm not doing that. I'm not pulling a Papaug or fucking Arlong or whoever you guys was jerking off about earlier.
What are you talking about?
But you said that they just show her before, right? When
yeah,
is
she was on the island. She was on Whole Cake when the wedding was going down. She was there.
Oh, I think you mentioned that on a couple episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Foreshadowing. I don't
She's just
understand.
been around.
I guess we'll get the breakdown soon. I think that's my general thought on the chapter. Like, based on all of these story threads that's been shown, we know we're about to get some type of backstory about the past. And I think it's going to kind of go hand in hand in what we've been getting with these cover pages. Because the cover page is probably like the beginning of the story of how he got to the point where he has this whole research lab and funded by the government and all of that. And then the arc is going to be about his research and the shit he did while he was working for the government.
Yeah,
that's the vibe I'm getting. Look at all the story. Because the real Stussy, the ancient one, she said that to ask Dr. Vegapunk about that. I think that Weevil is some type of scientific experiment as well. I think
damn, you beat me to the punch.
It's not a. He's a.
You beat me to the punch, man. I have. I guess I'll say it now since we're on the subject. But
go for it. Yeah.
We already established that there are clones, and a clone has been made of Stussy, out of all people.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that Whitebeard, he's an early clone of Whitebeard before they like perfected the process, because he obviously doesn't look like Whitebeard, except for the mustache. So I think he's like a genetic clone of Whitebeard before they really got like the secret sauce down and cloned Stussy herself. Or
that's interesting.
Or he's like an early Seraphim. But I think it's more likely he's a clone. Just because Stussy feels like
while we're on the topic of clones.
Theory guy.
So with Stussy's clone being created, now this opens up the idea that all of the Rocks pirates have been cloned.
That would be crazy.
So
Big Mom and Kaido too?
Probably.
Yeah. So Big Mom, there's a theory going around that Jewelry Bonnie is Big Mom's clone.
Oh my god. That's actually kind of wild because she eats a lot.
Jewelry Bonnie is Big Mom's clone. Mononosuke is Kaido's clone because of the devil fruit more so than anything else. It's not they weren't interested in Kaido.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, they're starting to reach here.
Momonosuke I don't buy.
Because it's different processes, right? Because each Rocks pirate symbolizes a different thing they were trying to recreate. So Weevil, was the first attempt to make a clone, failed. Jewelry Bonnie was a successful clone. Mononosuke's dragon was the first attempt to make another devil fruit. Yeah, exactly. Apparently, like a Zoan. And Stussy, it was the attempt to make a paramecia. How to make a clone with a paramecia. And then there is Zebek, who I think Blackbeard could be his clone in an attempt to recreate his will.
Zebek was the captain of the Rocks crew.
Yeah, he's Rocks D. Zebek is his name.
There's a chance that Blackbeard, it's either Blackbeard is a clone of Zebek or Blackbeard used this process to clone himself. To make multiple versions of himself.
Who?
Huh?
Was Whitebeard part of the Rocks Pirates too?
Yeah,
he was.
Oh my god.
The 4 emperors were, except for Shanks, but Big Mom Kaido and
Shanks was on Goldie Rogers' crew.
Yeah.
Why did Goldie Rogers side with the Marines, man? What happened?
Because Rocks was wilding. We don't know yet.
He only worked with Garp though.
He only worked with Garp.
He didn't the only motherfucker he probably would have worked with.
Yeah, he wasn't allied with the Marines. He worked directly with Garp, and only with him. But
so that's a theory going around.
Okay,
but here's my theory. Luffy is Goldie Rogers' clone.
I refuse. I refuse.
Think about it. All right.
They do look exactly
Luffy is a spitting. Roger, when he's young, is a spitting image of Luffy. Luffy's mom, not even mentioned, nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be at all even mentioned. Right? Coincidence? I think not.
Hold on. There is brief mention.
He wants to be king of the pirates?
Hold on.
Wasn't Ace Roger's son?
Yeah.
Yes. But Luffy is not.
So they would literally be brothers, or something like that, something along those lines.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go crazy and say everyone's a clone now.
Wait. Here's one more. When Roger's like, "Yo, my son's gonna be king of the pirates," he was right, but he didn't know which son he was talking about this entire time.
All right.
It's like Oda. Wait. Listen, hear me out.
Dragon,
so Oda loves to do these twists, right? Where it's like the same twist in a different setting, right? So like he reuses plot points, but fashions them differently. So when we found out that Ace was Goldie Rogers' son, it was like, oh shit, yo, that's crazy. And then we again find out the same twist, just fashioned differently. Oh shit, yo, he's actually his son. Come on.
I would not like that. I'm gonna say right now, if this is true, and I don't think it is, I think that would be eternally whack.
It's Clone Wars.
No, I don't like
it.
It's
Zebek's clone versus Roger's clone to see who becomes the real king of the world.
See, this is the crazy thing about this clone thing, is that it's really opened up everybody's paranoia. I don't like it. Like, if this is true, I don't like it. And it kind of ruins all of One Piece for me. Because I did like that, like, Luffy was not very connected to Roger, outside of like a few coincidences of like-mindedness between them. I don't know. I feel like that's just cheap, that turns out everybody's a clone of somebody in the past. It's basically Naruto again. That's what Naruto was, is like, oh.
Well, guess what, Chris? Every Shonen Jump manga falls off a little bit towards the end.
Nah, One Piece is different.
One Piece?
Nah, One Piece is different.
This is One Piece's moment.
Some fall off a little bit. Some fall off the face of the earth.
This clone business could make or break One Piece.
Listen, I don't think that's the case. It can't be. I don't buy it. I'll take Whitebeard
You
being a
can't buy it,
clone.
or are you in
I'll
denial?
take Whitebeard.
I'll
being a
take
clone.
Jewelry Bonnie being a clone because it makes sense. Just like
Why? No, it doesn't. Julie Bonnie does not make sense being a clone of fucking Big Mom. How?
I'm saying
How?
in terms of traits, like she eats a lot.
And
She's, but the thing is that
you don't got the same power.
these guys have biological families. Bonnie has, well, as far as we know,
Right.
Kuma is a biological father to Bonnie. Luffy is the biological son of Dragon. I don't know. As far as we know,
That we
everything we've
know
been
of.
told, but I don't buy it. Yo, like Dragon's just gonna take a clone, a world government clone, and just be like claim him as his son, but not raise him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Like give him his name and
Ace
not
took
raise
his
him.
mom's name, and she didn't raise him.
Well, she did it because he hated Roger. He didn't do it for any reason, just to respect his mom. He took his mom's name because he hated Roger
For leaving him.
for being who he was. Like, because Ace was like tortured his whole life because he was the son of Gold Roger.
How the fuck did they know?
Well, anybody who did know was wiped off the face of the earth. So that's why Ace ended up where he was, in the middle of fucking nowhere. His Garb took him and threw him in the middle of the woods and was like, nobody will find you here. Because the government was systematically killing everybody who knew Roger as far as they could find. That's why, apparently, that's why Rose, his mom, like, was pregnant with him for 20 months, which was crazy. So that the government wouldn't know that, like, that his son is out there. And then she died at childbirth, very obviously.
Right. Like, because it was like, oh, there's no way it could be his child. He died more than like 9 months ago. So
Yeah, I don't know.
for over a year, I just did the math.
A year
and 8 months.
Yeah, I can't. I can't.
Could you
I
do
don't buy
that?
it.
Yeah, I could do that shit. I'm built different.
No, the fuck you're not. Just because you're wearing a Facebook hoodie doesn't mean that you're built
Nah, bro.
for pregnancy or the rigors of extended.
I'm just
pregnancy.
like that, bro. I'm just like that.
Yeah.
You have an iron womb.
Brian is him.
I am him, and he is me.
Yeah, I don't
You
know.
you is me.
Yeah, Rush Hour 3. Trust me, man. Those are my favorite movies. This is some of my favorite movies.
You is me.
I am
So
you.
me-
And
I am you, and you is me.
anyway, that's crazy. A lot of these. Well, maybe it's not crazy, and maybe it's real, and I'll just hate One Piece if it goes down that path. But
Brian's close.
I will say I don't think. Oh yeah, Brian sat down. Brian was talking mad shit earlier.
Yeah, he said I was gonna stand for 2 hours.
Brian said I'm gonna stand for 2. He's like, I got it. You got his 64
And I'm
ounces
gonna
of
say
water,
LOL.
and
You
then
didn't
he
even
just.
notice that I sat down.
I see it.
I noticed the whole
Until now.
time.
You even noticed me cranking it all the way down.
Well,
I
whatever.
did notice because as the Facebook came into fucking sight.
Anyway, I don't buy it, and I will not accept. If it's true, One Piece goes down the drain for me. But it's
Right down the drain. All those years.
yeah.
Well, you heard it here
Rushing down
first,
the toilet.
folks.
I said what I said.
The clone business will either make or break this series.
It sure will. I trust Oda to be a little more a little more better than that. That they're just clones, because he's
I can't wait to hear what St. J. Garcia Saturn has to say.
Oh my God, he's got.
So actually, there is a theory.
Oh boy,
about the Gurusei.
That they're clones of other people.
No, nothing to do with clones. So every there's a theory that every Gurusei member is actually named after a planet now. And
oh wow.
Each
Pluton.
of the planets, each of the planets all have their responsibilities to the world, right? So, and every planet also has a symbolism. So the theory is that Saturn has the symbolism of time. So the reason why Saint J. Garcia is coming out is because he deals with the world's history, right? Essentially. So that's why he's getting involved here, because there's a lot of history that could be revealed in this area if he's not present to like erase this threat. So that's why he's coming out of the woodwork specifically.
Yeah, I don't even know their names. Okay.
Hold on.
Oh wow, we don't even know.
Saturn.
Saint Garcia, Jay Garcia is the only one we know.
Do you guys know the planets on the outer shell, like outside of the asteroid field? You've got Saturn. Hold on.
Saturn.
Jupiter.
So the ones that were mentioned were Saturn, Mars, Venus, what is it? Mercury, and there's one more. I guess Earth?
Listen, man. There's one planet we're not mentioning that already has been mentioned in the comic.
What, Uranus?
Yes.
Oh, and Pluto.
Oh shit. Well, Pluto's
and
not
Neptune.
Well, not anymore. I think it's too coincidental. That's a good theory. I'll buy that one. I'll take that one. That each one of them is named after a planet. That's pretty rad. I like that theory. That wouldn't ruin One Piece for me. But Brian, overall, do you have any other thoughts on this chapter? We stopped Josh, actually. I don't know if Josh has anything else to say about it.
No, it's fine. I feel like we just kind of freestyled, and it's like
I'm okay with it. But
I'm kind of ready to move on, but I know you probably have thoughts, Chris. So
no, yeah, I think Brian, do you have anything to say outside of the theories?
I have no clue what the fuck is gonna happen because they have an admiral coming after them. They have a fucking Gurusei member coming. They have the CP0 and they have the Seraphim. Well, now they're neutralized, but I'm pretty sure that could be overwritten at any point once these guys arrive. It is going to be a sight to see what the fuck happens. They need to get out ASAP.
Yeah, for sure. I really like this chapter a lot. I really debated having this be my RGC, but I really don't know. I think there's one more that captured my heart a little, just like that tiny bit more.
Captured my heart
a little bit more. But this was a really pretty awesome chapter. Brian, you weren't here last week. I wanted to run this theory by you.
Okay.
Regarding Bonnie's powers.
Okay.
And I wanted to know, you're the theory guy in the world. You keep your ear to the streets. And I wanted to know if anybody in One Piece is caught on. I shared it with Josh last week. But based on Bonnie's powers, you know how she like inflated herself, made herself stronger? It's my theory that because we've already seen precedent that God bless you. We've seen precedent that there are devil fruit users that may not necessarily actually know what their fruits really are. Instead of the age fruit, I'm supposing that Bonnie probably is the current holder of the time fruit, based on her ability, the same one that Lady Toki had back in the day, Odin's wife, that allowed her to time travel and shit.
So you think that she has the ability to time travel, she just doesn't know it?
Yeah, she's just using it right now. As far as she knows, it's the age fruit that allows her to advance.
Toki can only go forward, no?
Yeah, Toki could only go forward. But I will say that like the reason I thought about that is that strengthening thing she does, it doesn't really make sense unless she's like tapping into a future where she's that buff. Because just aging yourself is like, you just make yourself older or younger. But making yourself stronger is probably like reaching into alternate timelines and being
like, we thought that was really weird.
If that's the case,
that odd future.
It's really out there. I will say
No, if that's the case, it
It
would
doesn't
have to
make
be
sense for her abilities.
it would have to be an awakened fruit though.
Mm-hmm.
I think
That
this could
changes.
be the awakened version of it.
It could be, and she doesn't even know it.
Yeah, because that's the only way I could see it being that way. Just because Toki's fruit only allowed her to go forward. So her aging people back would only be accessible, I think, if she was awakened.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep. No, I just wanted to posit that one because I thought about that the other day and I wanted to do a crazy theory. You know, a crazy everybody's clones theory. But
also, Bonnie does look a lot like how Oda drew Big Mom at a younger age as well.
Yeah.
So let's not forget about that.
Yeah, but to be fair, Oda draws women the same way all the time. It could be just Oda just drawing women the same.
Yeah, it's not reliable at all.
Yeah, it's tough with Oda. You never know. Unless he goes out of his way to give like a woman a unique character design, everybody kind of looks like Nami, which, you know, is a fact I live with, and it's fine. It doesn't really get in the way. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Should we move onward? We spent a lot of time on One Piece.
Yeah, we sure have.
Oh man, if you guys have any cool theories, please leave them in the comments. We'd love to hear some interesting thoughts about One Piece because it's getting real crazy. You know, lots of stuff is going on, and it's kind of hard to process all of the shit they're throwing at us. And I'm looking forward to seeing if anybody has any other takes. But until then, let's move onward. My Hero Academia. This is My Hero Academia chapter 379, Hopes. We got a cool little color page here. I actually really like this a lot. With La Brava and Gentle Criminal just walking, looking cool. Last we left off, it was revealed that Gentle Criminal has been allowed by the police and the heroes at large to be kind of a backup plan in case the UA headquarters started to fall. And lo and behold, it started to fall. And he was there to hold up the UA with the combined might of La Brava's ability to supercharge people based on how much she loves them, and he was able to basically hold up the entirety of UA single-handedly with his dope-ass powers. Let's go, Gentle.
Yes, sir.
And on top of that, we have Lady Nagant, who has come out and is doing her sniper thing, sniping from afar.
No.
And we get a little flashback as to how she got involved. And she apparently survived being blown up from the inside with a few scars. And a literal Dr. Mario is advising her to...
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
I didn't notice this on my read.
His hair is shaped like his hat. That is what it is.
So does that mean Chicken Man is based off of somebody from Mario?
Maybe.
Chicken Doctor?
Maybe. I mean, he does. Maybe he's just like a Yoshi, like a weird looking Yoshi. I mean, I guess he had to alter.
Oh, that's Dr. Mario. Holy shit.
Yeah, he altered little moments of them because I bet he's avoiding copyright right now. He can't just straight up draw Mario. But
I didn't even think about it for a moment. I just scrolled past it so fast.
It is funny. Is all the medical staff just Mario characters? Because that would be pretty hilarious.
The chicken is not a Mario character.
The thing is I think he's like one of them dinosaur Yoshis because now that I think about it, he could either be a chicken or a Yoshi.
Maybe
that he altered a little because he clearly can't draw a Yoshi without some kind of copyright going on. But anyway, that's very funny. Anyway, she's just like, tell me where the enemy is. And Mario is like, you're an escaped convict. No fucking way. But Rocklock comes out and he's like, let her fight. I'll take full responsibility. Just let her go. Let her cook. And cook she did.
First off, I don't know why she was asking Dr. Mario. Like they would give him that information.
Well, he seems to know because he refuses to tell her as if he knew.
Why would they tell this fucking doctor?
He's saying He's saying tell you. Why would I tell you? You're an escaped convict. But also, Brian, I counter question, why wouldn't you tell Super Mario?
I'm just curious because he's just a regular ass doctor.
No,
and they're just like, yo, by the way,
we're gonna be over
All
here.
Might's protege, that dude is on UA right now, scrapping.
Maybe from the news.
Yeah,
he just knew.
Yeah, maybe from the news. I mean, it is hard to hide a giant flying school, so I respect that. So yeah, Rocklock let her cook, and she's out here sniping. Last we left off with her, she actually just shot off one of Shigaraki's arms before he activated his decay quirk on the ground. And she is now bleeding, bursting at the seams, and she's basically like, I got one shot left.
That is such a cool shot, by the way.
Of the blood bursting off of her. It is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is such a cool shot.
It's pretty cool. So yeah, she does her sniper thing. She's talking about how she's been stained by the darkness and lost faith in the light. But until you and my successor came around and reminded me of how I felt back then. So now let this reach Izuku Midoriya from Lady Nagant. And she shoots, and right as Shigaraki's about to bring down his other arm, she knocks off Shigaraki's other arm completely. It was a pretty sweet. She did one of these, I guess. It's pretty good. And
very good.
Shigaraki has no arms. Meanwhile, inside of Shigaraki, All For One is going crazy.
Yeah.
He's like, he said, that disposable trash. She just jumps from one thing to another. She's not faithful. Yeah, she's just going crazy. He's losing control over the body, and that's when a bunch of fingers come out of his theoretical mouth, and he's just like, ha ha ha. So your manipulations didn't work, did it? Brian, are you frozen right now?
No.
Oh, it's looking frozen to me.
I'm not either.
Yeah, Brian's frozen for sure.
Brian.
I'm not frozen.
All right. Well, I'm looking at you.
Can you move your hand?
I am moving my hand.
No, you're not.
I literally am.
Brian,
you're frozen.
Yeah, you're frozen for sure.
I'm literally moving my hands right now.
Anyway.
Anyways.
I'm not seeing your hands moving. I'm just letting you know. Anyway, so a bunch of theoretical fingers come out of his theoretical mouth, and he's basically he's talking all his shit. Shigaraki is. He's like, this shit is not working anymore. All For One, you can't manipulate your way out of this one. And Brian is loading again. Anyway, he explains that like he got blended into the mix of all of the quirks for One For All, and at that point, it turns out that little boy that was in the All For One thing was basically the last core of Shigaraki, or Shimura, I guess, the little boy version. Hey, you're back. Now you're moving. Hello. And he's been like basically cutting away at his powers from the inside, and bit by bit he started to reclaim himself. So he's tight. All For One's like, Kuragiri, I'm not control of this body. Stop gawking and warp me. And Kuragiri's going through his own troubles right now. He's just like, well, I have to protect Shigaraki. Where's Shigaraki? Shigaraki is continuing to build up his power. He's like, I've got no need for One For All. Did you think that you have anything under control? Unlike those flip-flopping screw-ups, my heart ain't wavering. And everything that exists led to the existence of that house. As Tomoe Shigaraki and Tenko Shimura, he's just got one hope: the destruction of everything stemming from that house. As it's revealed that he was somehow knocked off of the UA school by Midoriya. And he says that that's the only thing that's going to save him is the destruction of everything that caused that house to be the way it was. And we see that there's a kid taking a photo, I guess, of what's going on between Midoriya and Shigaraki. And the chapter ends with really,
I know who it is.
Yeah, and it's one of the business kids, actually, I bet.
It's the business kid. It's the marketing kid that Josh hated.
It's
talking about the guy taking the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the chapter ends with Izuku Midoriya and Shigaraki in a really well drawn 2-page spread, just facing off against each other, talking about how Midoriya is like, I can't let you destroy everything, but I also can't pretend I didn't see you crying in there. And that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what were your thoughts on My Hero Academia chapter 379?
It was a cool chapter, I guess. I was really surprised at what happened with between Shigaraki and All For One. I knew that that's what was being built up, that he was eventually going to kind of break out and just be himself. He already kind of started doing that as he was changing forms and shit, like with the hands and all of that. So it's not that I didn't see that happen. I just didn't think it happened as like just like that, just off his hands getting sniped away. That's I didn't think that would throw him off that bad.
I think it's because his body was like the physical body was starting to reach its limit to how much he could control it, because they already expended so much energy before that. So the hands getting shot off there probably was
the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure he just pretty much had a temper tantrum just because he wasn't able to erode the entire school building and island. Anyway, Shigaraki came out, and I'm going to tell you this. Look, I know a retcon when I see one. Talking about implanting a version of himself inside, so because he known All For One schemes. No. You guys could break it down as much as y'all want, and maybe my mind will change. But right now, I'm not buying it for a second. But it's okay. The story could keep going. It is what it is. Otherwise, I guess it was a cool chapter. I mean, I guess it was cool seeing La Brava and Gentle Criminal, fight for, play a role in saving them. Even though it was super brief. But I guess he saved everybody's lives that's on the island, because that shit would have crashed down. Anybody on it would have died. So he did his job. He got enough time.
He's still on there.
Afloat.
He's still up there.
Huh?
He's still up there.
Who's he?
Gentle?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's still holding it. Because, there's people still up there. So, it's important. I mean, I don't know. I'm just really not into this fight. I'm really not into this fight between Midoriya and Shigaraki. I wish I was a little bit more. But that's due to change. Yeah. It's their character dynamic. Same thing I've always been saying, though. I just wish we had a little bit more time. I wish they had a few more conflicts before that big war. A few more things happened before he went into his Demon Lord slumber.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But, Brian, last week we discussed that, we really felt the impact of change during the My Villain Academia arc. And you had brought to our attention, it probably was due to the heavy scrutiny. And I think it really did affect him. I think he probably did have plans to take his time and flesh it out like he was with everything else. I mean, the series kept a pretty decent pace, but the thing is, it didn't have to wrap up so soon. He could have kept the same pace and just kept it going for longer, Things could have kept happening in the same pace, You just could have had more. But I'm tired of talking about what was. Like I said, it's a cool chapter. I'm ready to see these guys get it shaken. But we're probably going to see what's going on all around before we see their fight. Also, they touch noses.
Did they touch noses?
They sure did.
Oh, they did touch. They did little. They did do a little boop. They are close enough to do a little boop.
Yep, and it was caught on camera.
Yeah, they got a picture of that.
Yeah,
they got a picture of
They got a pic of the boop. Caught a pic of some prime PDA.
Brian, what did you think about this?
Brian loves it. But I want to hear how much you loved it, Brian, in detail.
I think this is a pretty decent. This is a pretty decent chapter.
One Piece was no one's RGC.
Nah.
No.
Shit.
So was it yours?
So no.
Okay, that's fine.
It's close.
It wasn't mine last week.
I think this chapter was it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Not as good as last chapter, but this chapter was pretty good. I think the whole him being able to hide a piece of his soul makes sense, mainly because of the whole all for one for all world that they have with like a disconnection from their body. They could kind of have that. I could see Shigaraki over time coming up with that idea when he senses something fishy is going on. So it makes sense because they have their own fucking world, their own little astral plane that they exist on. So it's not impossible that this happened, you know? And I feel like when you're learning from the dude who's literally the evilest person of all time, you tend to think that, you know, all this power and training he's giving you isn't just going to be for free. And Shigaraki has always been a very skeptical person. So I feel like it's plausible for him to come up with this kind of plan to like have like a backup to make sure that he could always prevail in the face of evil. So there's that. What's his name again? Fucking Cloud guy.
Oh,
Shirakumo. Shirakumo. So him kind of slowly coming to his senses is a little interesting because this is an interesting timing for it to happen. I don't know why he chose this moment for him to kind of start malfunctioning a bit, and I don't know what implication that's going to have.
Somewhat convenient, I would say.
Yeah, it's a little like if this was going to happen, I feel like it's a little out of place. I feel like it should have happened at a different point, or at least have him have the thought or have more of that malfunction happen before as he's conducting these actions, you know? Like just so that we have that idea in our head that, oh shit, he's acting for the villains, but he's still spiraling a bit. Like there's still a little bit of something there, and then this would be a good time for that to pay off. So, a little bit more build up. I feel like this would have fit a little bit better. And the whole thing with Shigaraki getting out, it's interesting. Now, let me get to what the photograph is going to mean for this episode. I mean, for the chapters coming up. So, I think the kid is going to advertise this fight, what's going on, and where it is, which means that All Might from last chapter, who went out about somewhere, is going to show up at this location now with the help of this kid taking that photo.
Yeah, it makes more sense now. They are on level ground. They are in a place where All Might can reach them now. So I can see it.
I think I have I have one theory here.
Oh.
That when All Might shows up, I don't know what he has in his thing, in the thing that he had, but All Might's going to die. Huh?
Thing that he had?
He had something with him. I don't know what it was though. Let me see, just to be sure. But
Plot armor.
Plot armor. No, I agree with Brian. He's probably gonna die.
He's going to die.
He's gonna die.
And where the fuck is that page? Anyway,
who has plot armor?
Probably the main
essentially
character.
He has like a suitcase. I don't know what's in it though. Maybe it's like his cape or some shit, or his outfit. I don't know, something sentimental. And he's gonna die, and as he dies, Bakugo is gonna show up and help Deku during this fight. So it's like he really is never gonna get to autograph the card, but he doesn't need to, because he is the hero that he wanted to become, you know?
Yeah.
So I think at some point Bakugo is going to join this fight. I don't know to what extent or how impactful it's going to be, but that is a loose thread, no pun intended, that's going to probably come back around here. I'm just curious to see how this fight is going to pan out now that he's in a city, where there could still be people around and stuff. Because now that adds more tension to the fight, essentially, because now he has all of his quirks, he has his decay. So now we get to see Deku in his element, finding creative solutions to defeating villains, while saving lives. You know, that's what he does. He's an analyst. He figures things out on the fly, and Shigaraki having basically unlimited quirks against his kind of limited tool belt range of quirks would be an interesting contrast to see how that pays off. So I think this is going to be a fun fight no matter what. The art is guaranteed going to be fucking good. So, you know, I'm just looking forward to the things that I will enjoy from the next few chapters.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this chapter too. I thought that the art was pretty solid, as per usual. I mean, again, he is just masterclass in terms of just art. That's why the chapters are short as they are. Is I'm sure this takes forever.
This was 20 pages.
Yeah. No, this was a standard number of pages, especially for like still he's delivering this quality of art. On that level, killing it, crushing it. There's one thing I did want to like mention and about Shigaraki's thing, and it, like Brian said, I could buy it. I just wish there, like, you know, just like, you know, the Shirokuma thing, I wish there was like little moments of foreshadowing with it that would have made it go down a little easier.
There was technically.
Yeah, sure. But like, I guess especially in Shigaraki's case, because, you know, we know that there was the core, that there was like the little boy there, but we didn't know, like, there wasn't like a real inkling that it was fighting back. And not that I needed it to be telegraphed that hard, but, you know, if it was like a little something that we could not see coming, but, you know, like something that's hinted at, something that's established, so it doesn't like feel like now all of a sudden he's All For One is losing control. You know, these are all things I just accept because, you know, they're not like that outside the realm of, you know, what's been established. But just like on a level of writing, I guess like I wish that it was a little more teased at. But overall, I think it comes from what I noticed with this arc and the war arc is that, like, I think Horikoshi does a really good job of establishing this realistic, frenetic pace of what a battle like this would actually be like. Because I think in reality, like in a lot of manga, we see like time kind of slows down in moments and people are really able to think and do all this stuff. But in both of these war arcs, things are just moving so fast.